Ash is a bitch in this movie. I love the first Evil Dead. It's so gruesome and it's so, oh my god. Look at this bitch ass motherfucker, man. He's just standing in the corner doing nothing.
Bitch made punk.
Censor is a British horror movie, and I didn't know this movie existed until I saw a review of it online from someone, and I'm glad I did. Holy shit, this is one of the best horror movies I've seen since His House, the His House movie on Netflix. Make sure you go and check that out.
Bitch made punk.
I love psychological horror movies. I love psychological horror movies that get me invested in the character as they're going on their journey. I enjoyed going down that rabbit hole, that psychological path of madness, to where is the character being delusional or is what they're thinking actually accurate? Off into other things, the director in here is mwah, it's Prano Bailey Bond. She's a fantastic director. I love the cinematography in this movie. I love the set design in this movie. I love the atmosphere of this movie. It feels like it's one of those movies that can take place in like the 60s, 70s, or 80s kind of slasher movies. And the main actress in here, she's fantastic. She's mwah. She gives a believable performance. I love those kinds of movies where they show the actor and they have these little quirks or mannerisms that they do. Like there's a scene where she's scratching the side of her fingernails until it like bleeds and stuff. So these little tics that the characters have, and then there's a lot of acting in her facial expressions. I love that kind of shit. I feel like the overall message of the movie and what it's displaying, it comes across, it makes sense, I get it. I watch the main character go into her descent of madness, and I'm invested in that, and so that's all I really needed, and a little message in there, maybe heavy-handed to some, maybe sprinkled over to some other people, maybe coming off a little corny to some, especially me, but I feel like, within the society that we live in, within the whole world in general, we're always looking for something to blame. And I agree with the saying of, hey, it's your responsibility. You're responsible for your own children. If you don't want your kids to see the shit, then don't take your kids to see the shit. Make sure you're monitoring what they're doing. Make sure you're monitoring their activities if you don't want them to see the shit. Overall, my verdict for this movie is it's great. It's a great movie. I want to say I love it, but I feel like I have to watch it again. Because it is a slow movie. It's like when it starts, it's like it illustrates what it is and what it's doing and the main character, and it's like, okay, I get it, and then it goes along, and then it's like it feels longer than what it actually is because it's a psychological horror movie. And so it's like I didn't know what to expect going into this thing, and then there is some gruesome horror in here, but I feel it's warranted because it illustrates where the main character is mentally, and is like, is this a part of her psyche and affecting her going on her journey? And then there's like this other mystery going on. So there's like stuff going on behind the scenes. It's not just a surface level movie. I feel like there's a lot of deep commentary to be had on this about movies in general and horror movies and like what is taking it too far. I feel like with this movie, it has a realistic approach. It does have that fantasy element. It has an interesting character that goes on a downward spiral, a descent into madness, and an interesting investigative journey. Cinematography is great, directing's great, the story's execution is mwah. I love this whole movie. But I feel like I have to watch it again because it starts slow and it does take a while to get going, but as the movie progresses, it just amps and amps and amps the tension and the terror. There are a few jump scares in here, but mostly it's just atmospheric. And I love that. It kind of reminded me of the Rebecca Hall movie, Christine, about the real life story about Christine Chubbuck, who was a news anchor. And it feels like it's that movie mixed with the more recent Saint Maud movie. So it like, picture those two movies having a baby, and this is what comes out, and that's what I got from this. And I thought this movie was great. I loved it. Definitely want to watch it again. One of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. That's all I have to say.